Live. I don't want to do this. Should we just quit? We should just quit. I'm gonna go back to bed. Hey, thanks for joining another episode of Playing the Artist, a weekly web show where we just talk about trying to play the artist, trying to figure this thing out and make it as a career. And joined, as always, my beautiful.
Go on.
I guess co-host, yeah.
I thought you were gonna add more adjectives there, like
I don't know. I just
charming,
eh.
cuddly.
Hey, you know, I was thinking that we're kind of like Yogi and Boo Boo, Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. Like I'm Yogi. I'm loud and brash. I'm like, hey Alex, let's get some models done. Show me your homework. And then you'd be like, Antoine. You know, you're kind of sleepy and small looking all the time.
But a little wiser.
Yeah, a little wiser. Little wiser.
Like more like Fred and Barney.
Damn it! That's another trio. Not trio. That's another gang of like short, tall dummy, short, skeptic.
Yeah. But it's always the tall dummy who kind of gets shit done. You know.
That's true.
He's kind of just like
he gets the smooch at the end from the wife.
Yeah. He's just very like nose down and just dives into things. Which you got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody.
We're still in the intro.
Yeah. I think we're just hungover from a lot of turkey. This is Canadian Thanksgiving, and we've been eating all kinds of foods, like way too much. Did you eat all that pie? I gave you an entire pie.
Yeah.
To take home. Is it
I
gone?
just finished it this morning.
That's good to hear. Yeah. I've been eating leftovers nonstop, and I still have many to eat.
You had so much food at your house, dude. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. Yeah. How was your week otherwise? What else did you get up to besides Thanksgiving? I mean, you got lots to work on. I think you gave me the rundown, and it seemed like you were pretty productive, and you had like some stretch goals figured out, and some of your page layout figured out.
Yeah, a name, my logo, all that fun stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got a whole like branding, I guess, for your
kind of a little bit of a story, I guess you could say.
Story. That's way better. It's way better than branding. Branding's dope.
Yeah, still trying to, still like kind of tweaking around with, but like I said yesterday off the air here, I don't know why I bring this up because it's not that interesting, but I just had problems with my computer. I was just trying to fix, and it took forever and stuff.
There's always something randomly will just happen, you know.
But my computer was working fine. My computer was working fine, but I just didn't like the fact that it was not allowing me to get updates for my PC. So I was just like, I don't like the fact that I'm not getting updates for my PC. And it still says, this is such bullshit I'm just talking about. It still says, you have an older version of Windows 10. You got to update to a better version. But it says now, everything is up to date, but it still says I'm using an older version, and it's like telling me to get like a newer version of Windows. I'm like, well just give me a newer window version. See, I'm so frustrated. I'm mixing my words up.
Dude, just run that whatever thing I sent you. And then
I don't see it.
It's probably
you put it in the live chat. That's why you should put it in the private chat.
Oh well, it's there for all.
All you digital artists.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we just both talked over each other like a bunch of dum-dums.
We got excited about it.
Yeah, we're like, oh, here's a tag to make ourselves look smart. Watch this. I'm about to say smarts, and then we both talk over each other, and now we just look like dum-dums. Thanks, Alex.
That's fine.
Alex, we got some fucking homework to review, my dude.
Yeah, man, I've been doing homework this week. I ordered another version of my map. I'm getting another test print done on that.
Nice.
What else did I do this week? I was printing that character. I had a pretty productive week as well. No PC issues though. I'm still running Windows 7 on my PC. I'm like I'm just like figuring out how to keep making things work.
Alex, you're not even running a legit copy of Windows 7.
No, I probably am. I mean, some version of Windows came with my PC. I didn't just like build it. I'm not that good at PC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're giving out Windows 10 for free, aren't they?
That's right. There was a time when, or maybe it still is. Yeah, you could get the upgrade for free, and I thought about doing it, but I never did.
All right.
And I'm not going to. I'm going to ride this Windows 7 train for as long as I can until I'm in a fire off the rails. Yeah.
All right. Let's. I want to see this stuff.
Okay. I've got it open in just in Photoshop, so I'll go ahead and screen share, and I'll just walk you through what's going on. Okay. So you can see my old copy of Photoshop here to go with my Windows 7. They're highly compatible with one another.
Yeah.
This is working, right? Okay. Let me get the old pen out and maybe I'll describe some things. Got a layer of sketching where I do some sketches. So this is kind of the overview. I'm sure it'll change as I go through. And let me just grab a pen here. I've got like 4 or 5 floors, I think. So this is like, that tower? I don't know, maybe I should pull up a picture of the tower, but the tower I made earlier.
Yeah.
This is like a dungeon pertaining to that tower.
Okay.
So we have this region here. This is the first floor, and this is the one that's most thought out, I would say. This is the second floor. This is the third and top floor. And then there's, up here is basement 1. And then all this here is like the deep dungeon basement 2. So we got, you start here. You enter the dungeon here in a room that looks like this. Here's your guy. It's pretty fun, right? So you get in here and right away you notice an old skeleton carcass. He's laying there, and you search him and you find some loot, and you find like a map shard, maybe a note with some flavor text. And on the back, there's a map scribbled on there, so you get like an idea of some of the layout of the dungeon that you're about to enter. And then you come up here, up the stairs, and then there's this door here with a fancy lock on it. And this door, this takes you up to the second floor, which is here. And this room really is intended to be kind of like a, just a room where it's like sort of like an area for rest. And there's gonna be potions and stuff in here, because this is right before the final boss. And this room, it's locked, and this is actually the last thing you'll do in the whole dungeon. So, and then you come down here. I haven't really made it pretty yet. And then you gather some shit, and then you leave here, and that takes you up to the top floor. And this is the top floor, and this is where the boss battle will happen. So, gotta figure that out. But anyway, so you're in the.
Sorry to cut you off. Your stairs. The tiles are just kind of going up the stairs. They should kind of be like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the marble, the stone should be placed like.
Yeah, I hear you. This is just like.
I know, blackout. I just was making sure that you knew that. But you know what? You're kind of know what you're doing. So I should have known better that you're not a silly Sally.
It's okay. It's your inner artist just can't help but comment.
No. Yeah, that's true. I got a question. That circle you made.
Which one? Which one?
Well, scroll out a bit. I'm just wondering, like, let's say that circle right there, that top circle.
Mm-hmm.
Can that fit in, like, with that curve? Like, if you print them
Oh,
out,
this in there?
yeah, can it fit in there like that?
I can't remember if I decided they might be able to fit in there. They might. I can't remember if I actually fit that out or not. But yeah, it might be better all as one. It
Well,
might
no,
be better all as one thing.
no, well, you want them to be separate so you can have the fog of war, right? The fog of war thing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, it's just that room, and then it's like, oh, you unlock that room, and then you put the tile down, right?
Yeah. And I wanted to kind of have like a like perspective so you can actually see a wall here. And it's like, you know, it's like a big when I actually art it all up, you can kind of see that I don't know, this is like some kind of door. And like you're actually like this is also a door. It's an archway or something. You know what I mean? And it has like some 3D to it. So then this whole thing, like from here all around, is actually one tile, one not tile, but one mat, I guess, like one square thing. And then yeah, but it's not a lot really happening in here. I don't have any encounters in this room. Yeah, so I could see the argument for just like, you know, if you've got a lot of pieces, maybe just putting them together. But also like maybe you want it to be modular, so maybe you just leave it separately anyways.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
So this is the next room, and you come in this way. This door goes right to there.
Yeah.
And there actually is an encounter in here. There's okay, I got it right here. There's a character that I need to make called the Deathless Apprentice, and he's a sort of like a novice spellcasting necromancer type of guy. He's got a big book and he's casting spells, but he's kind of reading his book at the same time. So he's not like super pro, but he's still like got 4 reanimated minions that you'll fight. So there'll be 5 enemies in here, and so you'll fight them. And what'll happen is as soon as you kill this guy, this is the main guy. Sort of like a cutscene will happen, and he's gonna die, and a key is gonna, wherever he's at, no matter what happens, a key is gonna fall off of him when he hits the ground, and it's gonna fall down this drain. And that's actually gonna fall down here into this water room, and you're gonna have to go down and retrieve that key. And that is gonna be the key to get to this fancy locked door that's in the very first thing.
I see. And then you have to make your way out of the basement dungeon.
Yeah, well, you want to get to the top floor because there's some shenanigans going out here. Yeah. So, and then also the other thing, you'll notice in this room, there's like some shit and books and table over here. But on this side, there is like a pulley, like a crank with rope. And it's actually going up to the ceiling, and and like suspended here, there's actually, you can't see it, but there's like a dead guy who is part of some ritual, and his blood is dripping down here. This is all this blood you see here. I'm pointing at my own screen like a dum-dum. And you can get him down, and then you'll find some shit, like some loot inside him, and maybe something important in him, like a note, maybe another note with more of the dungeon. Maybe that's a good idea. And I was thinking about making this like rope, but I might make it chain so that you can't just cut it. And then you have to come in here into this room and use a pole or something to like uncrank it, or somehow figure out a way to activate this crank that's not just like instantly, you know, that the player has to think about or whatever. And then this room is sort of the opposite of the entrance room. This door, instead of going up, this goes down into the deeper dungeon. And yeah, and then there's a little crate here with some stuff. And then other than that, there's just this door is like another exit, but I'm just gonna block it off because I don't really want people to leave the dungeon from here. So I'm gonna make it seem like they've covered over this exit or something, just for whatever reason. And then there's gonna be this big, large suit of armor here that's like 12 feet tall, and it's gonna just be kind of a noteworthy set piece for now. And later on, this guy is going to be reanimated, or not reanimated, but he's like a puppet for the boss. So he's going to like sort of inhabit this big suit of armor guy, and like you're going to have to fight it later. So you'll go through the dungeon, and then you'll come back out this door after you've got all the stuff down there, and you'll come back to this room, and you'll realize this thing is gone. When you saw it here the first time, it's going to be gone the second time. And you'll be like, oh, where'd that thing go? And so, yeah, you come in here and, yes, you muster a key out of this room somehow. I haven't really figured out how that key happens. Or maybe to unlock this door to go down. Or maybe I'll just let them kick the door down. I don't know, something like that. Or maybe I thought about just letting the player maybe open this gate, like the grating on the ground to get down there. But I kind of don't want that because then you could, I don't know, cheese the dungeon, but maybe that's not a terrible thing.
No, I think they should try to figure out a way to get, instead of, well, because what I was thinking when you first was talking, I thought you were saying like the key falls down the drain and then you go down the drain and you get the key right away, but you can't get back out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's another way to do it, right? Because, yeah, so I think I thought about that a little bit as well. And I wouldn't mind if you can do it both ways, right? Because then the player can do kind of whatever they want to solve it. Like you can pry open this gate and then hop down. But it's quite a fall because this is like 2 basement floors down, this room that it's going to land in.
Yeah.
So whether you do that, oops, sorry guys. Sorry, everybody. So you can go down.
You know what? Actually, it'd just be cooler just to like, instead of going down the grate, I think it'd be better if the player, because the thing is like if you do that, then the team has to separate, can separate.
Mm-hmm.
If one person goes down the grate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you want is you want the team to stay together, right? Usually. So I would say, yeah, you like kind of adventure down to that area. Want to figure it out.
Yeah, like I think the way I can stop players from doing that is to I don't know, like this is like you're sure if you hop down you're landing in water, but that doesn't necessarily. It could be like 6 feet deep or something, and you don't want to dive in that. We all learn that as kids. Don't jump in that kind of water from this.
Spikes. Put spikes down there.
Yeah. I could put spikes down there, Mortal Kombat style. The thing is, though,
and it's a wizard tower, so you can't use special spells because it's a cursed tower.
That's another good way to like lock some of these doors. And I think I might do that as well, is put some kind of fancy cursed lock on here that's like a spell, some kind of spell breaker. So anyway, you come. This door leads you to basement 1, which is, if I zoom out here, this is B1. Mm-hmm. And you'll come out this door here. So let's zoom in. So what you'll find here is just, there's going to be a few guards down here, easy encounters. And then these are all prison cells, and there's going to be prisoners in here. And maybe
those doors or entryways are kind of tight.
These ones?
Other side.
Oh, these ones.
How'd you do that? What happened there?
Where? This thing?
Why are they so tiny?
Oh, I don't know. I probably just drew them in real quickly.
All right.
I've got this layer, my walls layer, and it's kind of fancy. So I can just paint in walls.
Oh, cool. That's really neat. That's really clever.
so that I've just
Dude,
got
you
a
can
tile
make shit
underneath.
so fast.
Yeah, well, this is just for drawing. I actually want to make proper walls. Like, I want to art up these walls to not just be silly, like, layer style things. So anyway, maybe you have an NPC encounter with with, you know, blah blah blah. This black spot here, I want to be like a hole, like a big pit kind of hole, and that you can actually look down and see, like this, more or less, this dungeon kind of thing, so that you can't. It looks really far, like you couldn't jump down there, but you can kind of see what room was directly below, because this is right, like directly below this room, right? So it's like this one here. So sort of like pancaking down. This room is directly above this room, and there's a big circle in the middle. So the key fell right down the middle here into the water room. So anyway, you just like maybe chat with some folks here. At some point, I want to have a fetch quest, or not a fetch quest, one of those ones everybody hates, where you take somebody.
That's
like,
escorting.
an escort quest. That's right. I want to do an escort quest in this dungeon somewhere, where the guy, because like one theme about this dungeon is like bringing things back to life, right? So I want this guy to have one of the prisoners. He's got some information you need, and he takes you to get like, I don't know. You acquire some like sort of like elixir, like a Phoenix Down. Are you familiar with Phoenix Down from Final Fantasy?
No.
Okay, so Phoenix Down is it's like a potion, and if one of your party members dies, you just use the Phoenix Down, and then they just regain all their health and they're back to normal. So like, I want the players to get a Phoenix Down at the same time that they're doing this escort quest. So that way, if the escort guy dies at any point during the quest, like from an enemy encounter, then you can use the Phoenix Down on him to revive him. But if you do a really good job and you get him there to where he needs to go without using it, then your party just gets to keep this item as kind of a reward for doing the quest.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. So then you do this room, you go over here, you go downstairs. And I've got two entrances. One is up here, and one is, the first one I thought of is down here. I got a guy there already. Get out of here, man. And then this is kind of like just like the catacombs, like of the dungeon, and there's a lot of shit that goes on, and I haven't totally figured it out yet. And I don't know if I need all these rooms, all this stuff. But yeah, the escort quest is going to happen down here. There's going to be a lot of little enemy encounters here. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to, this room is key here. I haven't done any sketches yet, but you need to get into this room. And in here, you're going to find another one of these things, another chain pulley thing. But in this one, the chain is going to be missing. So you need to find the chain and use it here. And when you use this pulley thing, it's going to open like a valve, and that's going to drain all the water out of these two rooms, and it's just going to flow into the system here. And then you have to come. That'll enable you to come in here and get the key. Because like I don't want the players to like go into the water. I want it to be like really toxic and stinky water. But this room should have an entrance into it.
I'm sure you're aware of it, but the water doesn't look too stinky.
We're gonna have to up the stink factor.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah. So anyway, there's a way. So if you when you first come into this room, there's going to be a little encounter, not an encounter, but like a little like story moment. You're going to get in here and you're going to see a big dark shadow under here, and it's going to swim away right away. And it's going to swim underneath like this wall actually is going to be a full wall. And there's just like a grate here, like underground kind of sewer opening.
Okay.
And he's going to swim through that. And so you're gonna be like, oh, what was that big figure thing that just was here and then you guys scare it away. And then later on, when the water is emptied out of here, then you're gonna fight the thing in here and get the key. You'll fight that big monster thing that was in the water.
I would actually make that room a little bigger.
Oh yeah, hey.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tight. It is pretty tight in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe this should be a big circular.
I think you made an accidental line there and you erased some stuff.
Yeah, this was yeah. Like I said, like this is none of this stuff is gonna be, I think, used. The only thing that I will keep is probably this tile on the ground. I think that'll be handy to have. But
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
So,
I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna.
Well, I'm pretty much done anyway.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay. Well, I guess there's a little bit more I can say.
A couple things I'm gonna bring up. Okay, so first thing, I didn't know, you did not make it clear to moi that you really enjoy storytelling and almost quest building. And I did not know this. You did not make it clear to Antoine that is a thing you really enjoy. Because I said last week, I was like, just do like 5 tiles. And what do? You write a whole fucking story about this tower and this a knight armor that gets reanimated and this key that falls down a sewer drain and this phoenix down and this shadowy figure and fucking draining the water to get the key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all Zelda stuff.
Yeah, and I didn't know that was a thing you were trying to like do. So I think that's good because it sounds like you're really passionate and it's actually like getting your gears going to like do things. So all right, that's good.
Yeah, like it's stuff I've been thinking about for a long time, but I just never sat down to like it. It never felt like the
Even
right
in
time.
college,
to do it.
you wouldn't talk about stuff like that.
I think like I don't know. You never. It's because like when you do something like this, it's pretty big commitment, and you know it's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I think just for that reason, it always feels like this is too time consuming for me to like. Or it's not this exactly because like I kind of just thought of this stuff in the last month or so, but like doing this sort of work is like, you know, if you're doing it at a time when you need to, you know, create a portfolio or, you know, because you're entering the industry and you want to show you know how to like bake a stop sign for games. It's like.
But you know what I think I just found out about you, Alex.
What's that?
You're wanting to, like, I think the art is a part of it, but I think it's almost secondary. It's you telling these like little stories and these little encounters and making these little quests is what you should be doing and focusing on. Not drawing a character, not drawing a D&D character for somebody on internet form or making random little tiny whatever doodles. Like you should be doing, like, you should have a story in your head and write out the story and like some little stuffs and like a little book, and then start making dungeons and start making these encounters and writing all these notes about these encounters and stuff like that. And then your skill will help bring that these dungeons or these campaigns or whatever you want to call them to life. And yeah. So I think you should start like all these things you were talking about, all these like little story elements. Are these all kind of written down in like a book?
No,
are you okay? So what I think what you should
I don't
start.
really write them down.
I think you should start writing them down, or at least start writing notes in your PDS files. Yeah. Anyways, writing in your Photoshop files, like little notes, being like, "Oh, this is where the blah blah blah," and like just like little tiny things that reminds you of this tile, like what's the significance of it, or like this little sketch you did. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because like what you just showed me, Alex, like, because like I said, like by the way, those little cutouts of that model you made are actually really, really cool. And you could probably get away with texturing that and just make it as a like a printable thing, so people can like just print out a flat little character if they just want flat characters.
Which cutout?
The little man, the little man, little man.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah, you could totally, if you fixed up his like his the lighting on him a bit, you could totally just like have that as like a printable thing for like a flat printable thing. But
That
anyways,
might be a fun like digital tier where it's like you get all the stuff. But I don't know. I guess someone would need Photoshop to like be able to move a character around like this. But yeah.
they probably have some sort of. Anyways, regardless, but yeah, because like because like I said before, I said like, oh, just do 5 simple whatever tiles, and just have them modular. And you just made a whole fucking backlog story. So
yeah.
I think you need to start carrying around a little journal, and like anytime you're like at work or on the pooper or whatever, you'd be like, oh, and you're thinking about your dungeon, your next kind of like dungeon or whatever. You're like not sure about these couple ideas, and then it might come to you, or like, oh, okay, and then you write down that idea or whatever. Or you're like watching a movie, you're watching Lord of the Rings for the 18th time, and then there's like a certain scene, and you like, oh, you write down that scene. You go, oh, it'd be cool if like this happened instead, and like you could probably implement that in like future whatever. So like what, like in my mind, what I thought like you were trying to like achieve and go down was just kind of like like what I'm trying to do is like I'm just trying to make kind of like modular things for like people to like interact with. What you're trying to do is like you're trying to make this like actual like little tiny like story.
I want to make like a little, just like a one-off kind of D&D session that people could just take and play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so, but when you said that, I didn't expect I didn't expect all the storytelling elements in it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, like it's really, I don't know that there's a ton of
and also
story.
like, oh, but also. What do you mean? There's not a ton of story. What are you talking about? You just
sort of like one puzzle, like connecting. I'm trying to really just make like puzzles, I guess, for the person.
Yeah, but here it is. You make a couple puzzles, and the puzzles have a certain feeling, right? And then from those feelings, you can write a little bit of flavor, right? Some story, right? In there,
like I don't have like a story in the back of my head of like characters, and they with backstories, and some in like the land is like
that's fucking video game design, dude. Like you have an engine, you have a mechanic, and then you have to theme this mechanic, and you have to make it something interesting and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to like,
and it shows to me that you're doing that, and I think that's really cool, and I'm actually really excited now because I'm like I know what you're actually like, what you're trying to like do now, and because before you sounded like really wishy-washy about your ideas, and I wasn't like quite following. Like, what is he doing? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about really. And
well, it's I think it's like when you used to say don't tell, show, or something like when you talk about your ideas and you talk about them and then they just like never happen.
They're just ideas.
And I didn't want that to like
happen.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want that to come to fruition, I guess, with this idea, because I felt like, well, if I think about it this much, then I just, at some point, I just want to do it and then let that be the explanation, and not really talk about this like grand plans or something.
Yeah.
So that's maybe why it seems like it's out of the blue, but it is, I don't know, it's just something I think about. And also, like, if I, go to talk to you and tell you about my idea that's not very figured out yet, like I haven't figured it out in my own head yet. I mean, maybe I would get some help, but you'd also look at me sideways and be like, get your shit together.
which I have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is cool, dude. This is actually this gets me excited because you're excited about it. And it's like, okay. I get it now. I get what Alex is trying to push.
Cool.
My one thing I think would be really interesting is you could still have like these rooms and like these like certain like special rooms and stuff like that. But I would say like for the majority of like a lot of
Yeah.
these rooms, I would make it so because like you have this one big sketch, right? And it's like one big
Mhm.
whole piece. You should
Yeah.
have it where it's like this is already placed out for people that want to use their tabletop table TV thing. You know what I'm talking about? So like
Yeah.
they just plop it right on the TV, or
Hmm.
have it so cut it up like especially like this B1 room.
Yeah.
Like this is like when you think about it, this is just 7 rooms, right? So it's like or you could cut this B1 the middle thing into 2, so you have 8, right? So like these would be
Yeah.
2 prints, and these separate little rooms are just separate little prints that they could just plop down or whatever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I would say you know what the best way to do it is because the reason why I wanted you to make like some modular things is where so like from those modular things like you have a set diameter and
Hmm.
kind of like
Yeah. Yeah.
like a little like little Lego pieces, right? And then from those Lego pieces, then start creating, and then in creating with just those Lego pieces, you have the ability to then be like, I need this one type of room. It's like, well, now you just make a different Lego piece, right?
Yeah.
And you make it in a way so it connects with those other Lego pieces.
Yeah. I think my next
And
step
then of
is
course,
to
and of
do
course, you
that.
could still have like those special like one-off rooms as well too, right? Because like
Hmm.
even though it might be just like this kind of weird shape, kind of like that 2N. What is that? 2N
This
there.
one.
Yeah, like that one's like kind of an odd shape, but you could still use that for plenty of different things, right?
Yeah.
So I would say get a little journal where you write down your ideas of like story elements and like little tiny scenarios. Then also sketch out like different like floor plans in there too. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because like you
Yeah.
could, like I said, you could be like on your lunch break and you could be like eating your, I don't know what you eat, eating your, ramen or something. And
No.
no,
Well, I like ramen. Not as
anyways,
much though.
eating your whatever, eating your club sandwich, and you might get an idea, or you might just be sketching, and you might be sketching weird different floor
Hmm.
plans or whatever, and then like you're like, oh, this is an interesting shape, and then
Yeah. I mean, this started as a sketch. This, although it's the least figured out, is this one. This like the actual
yeah,
labyrinth part of the dungeon. But this stuff was sort of just like in my mind, you know. Never really. Every time I drew it out, it never looked like the way I was imagining it. This is pretty close,
yeah,
as I have it here now. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna continue to do like I thought. I've put way more of my ideas down here on these first 3 rooms,
yeah,
and I'm gonna continue to do that for as many things as I can think of and as many rooms as I can think of, and then I'll come in here, and if there's a room, it's like okay, this like hallway that leads to the secret room, I couldn't really think of anything there, so maybe I'll just lose it, and then I'll really like efficiently kind of cut down the rooms I need. And like, yeah, like you said, like this room should probably be larger, right?
yeah,
And so then I'll do that pass, and then I want to cut it up into I want to establish like a largest scale. Like, what is the largest size of room? Probably this one, or maybe this B1, and use and then like crop or not crop, but maybe I'll crop it but just like set my PSD file to something that makes sense for this room properly,
yeah,
and then that'll be my biggest room, and I'll start to and I'll make a PSD of all my walls and floors and just like assets
yeah,
and little things, and then that'll be my like kind of builder PSD where I use the big room to create all the smaller rooms because like that'll make sure that I don't. I don't know. I just need an anchor, I think, because like I'm not gonna. This is so big, this B2. Like I feel like this should be a few pieces that can be put together instead of like a
oh,
big thing, right?
more than a few, a lot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It would be nice if this, later on when you get a pack of this thing, like this room could be cut up and made to a bunch of different, catacombs.
So what I'm gonna do for my like Kickstarter, because like I have a bunch of pieces that can be mixed and match, right? That could be kind of like they kind of just like go together.
Yeah.
In no particular way. It's up to the player or what they want to do. So I'm gonna have like reference photos of like, oh hey, if you want to make this type of like schematic of this building or whatever, or like this building that you can make with all these different pieces, I'm gonna have a listing of like oh these are the pieces you need. This is how many you need of them, and then you put it together like this. You know what I mean? So you can still have like I said, you could be like, oh, to make this one like certain dungeon, you need all these pieces, and then you can have it kind of mapped out where it's like, oh, all these pieces go like this, for this campaign that you're offering with these tiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really like like some of the cityscapes you could make when you put those together. Like I didn't realize it was such, because one thing when I look at your Instagram every day, and I mean, there's postings every day, but I don't get a sense of the scale until I saw a shot where you put a bunch of items together, and I realized, oh, that tower is actually really tall, and all these little generator things or whatever they are.
Yeah.
There's like there's different scale to them. Some of them I could tell the scale because you put like a computer board on it, like the door has a computer console next to it.
Yeah.
And you got to hack into it. Maybe, I'm probably not getting inside there, but it does make me think of Fallout that has all those computer screens next to every door, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see the different scale, and I was glad that it wasn't all the same, piece after piece after piece. But I think you can make some cool kind of marketing shots out of that, like piecing them together and making different cityscapes, sort of feeling imagery out of it.
Yeah. No, most definitely. Yeah, man. So, what are you gonna get?
What do you mean?
You got to get something. What are you gonna need to get? You
A
probably
thumb?
already have. I hate you.
A lighter?
No. A little journal book thingy.
Oh yeah. No, I have. Didn't you see it in my?
Oh yeah, you have that little
little pink one.
The most feminine pink I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because it's not just pink. It's kind of like got a sheen, like kind of pink, like a goldish pink, kind of shimmery look to it.
Start actually like writing, man. Like write it. Like I've started writing this year, and it's helped immensely on like anything,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right.
Start writing in there, and if you need to do little sketches, do little sketches. But write down your ideas, because then they're just ideas, right? You write it down, it becomes concrete.
For sure. Well, I want all the ideas that I like. I want them all to live in this PSD, so that way this is my one spot. When I go to like actually make this look like a finished thing, this is like my one reference point for like what I need to.
No, you should have reference points all around your office, dude.
Like a pegboard with lines, like wool.
No, like I have like I have a whiteboard. I have my little notepad, and then like I have my my Maya files and whatnot, and my other stuff. You know what I mean? It should just be like it should be all around you, all like little reference points. Like there's like if I need to do something, I'll write on a sticky note. So I have a sticky note. So it's just kind of like it's kind of always so like if you do fall off track, there's little reminders for you to be like, okay, this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you all forget about things that were kind of important, especially if you don't write them down or anything. So, yeah.
Will do.
All right then. Well,
all right, what else we got? What else we got?
I got FedEx coming to my house at 8:00, 8 something. I got more filament. I'm going to be doing some big prints today and this whole week.
Nice. Is it the same? Did you change filaments?
Well, I was trying to. I have this one spool of filament that has still a little bit on it, and I want to try to get as much stuff off of it, the spool, before I want to switch. But
it's always like, because you're you've got that last bit of filament on the spool, and you're like, okay, what size of print can I do?
Yeah.
'Cause you don't want it to fail, but you want to use up all your filament.
Yeah.
So, because if you run out, I mean, for those of you that don't print, if you run out, it fails, and you just have half a model. And there's no real way to. I mean, I've heard of people doing some things to continue your print after like halfway through, but I don't know. I think it's kind of like
I got no time for that noise.
Hell no.
Got no time for that. I was thinking like printing something and then like waiting till like it's about to run out and get the other one going, and like then just start feeding it in the tube, like the next one, just like start hugging the next spool behind the other filament.
Yeah, I couldn't do that with mine because like the filament loading is it's such convoluted.
Yeah, it has to be consistent, right? It has to be consistent.
Yeah, and like I have to take my filament and like cut it into a point so that it really feeds in nicely.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say? Oh yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get. Well, hang on. It is the 15th, and so I don't think. Well, you know what? It's gonna be tight, but I'm gonna try. God damn it! I don't think I'll be able to get on the 31st, but if I don't make it the 31st, but then like it's like, well then I'll have at least a lot done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
if you bleed over a week or two or whatever, it's probably okay.
Yeah. I hear
Just gotta do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you with regards to filament.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not in the same boat as me.
I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Well, I'm not waiting for FedEx, but I'm on my last like strand. And,
waiting for. Throw in, well, no, I actually have I have another roll of filament, but I know that's not going to be enough for all the stuff I need to print.
Oh,
I need more.
Wow.
More.
Are you still using eSun?
Yeah. They didn't have any of the grays, but I got some black.
Cool.
So we'll try out the black. I'm sure it'll be a lot better because I have to paint everything black to paint it. I have to prime it black, so maybe buying black filament will like help the. I'll have to use less primer maybe.
If you ever thought about using that filler primer stuff? Have you ever heard of that? It's like the Warhammer gradient. I don't know. It's like it creates its own gradient. It's like kind of a half wash.
No, I just use this. I just use this black primer that's meant for airbrushes.
Yeah.
But I just paint it on, and what happens is it does a pretty good job. It like seeps in, and it kind of makes the layer lines a little bit less, Every week you have a different, Princess Disney cup.
Yeah, we've got like at least 8 of them, I would say.
Jeepers! Did your woman go to Disneyland or something and just bought all the nuts?
I don't know. Probably just the Disney store.
Yeah.
I don't think she went all the way to Disneyland. Although I'm sure she's been to Disneyland. I've never been.
Me either.
I was, I don't know. Didn't come from that kind of family where we go on big vacations like that. We would go on camping vacations. That was kind of
Me either. What was I gonna say? So right now what I'm doing is I'm in the middle of painting stuff and painting more stuff.
Mm-hmm. Painting.
I gotta print a gaggle of things, and then just fixing up the stretch goal stuff that we talked on Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving with you.
Hey, where did you get that primer from? I think I want to get some primer I can brush on because my primer's all like in a spray can, and I need to put on my mask and go out. I go out into like the small wooded area that's like right next to our place, and
Yeah.
I just spray prime a bunch of things outside. It's
Yeah.
kind of a pain in the butt. It would be nice sometimes just to brush on some primer instead of
Yeah.
actually like.
I'll send you a link or just remind me. I just like find it off Amazon, dude.
Oh,
You
okay,
know,
yeah,
yeah. So
that's cool.
yeah, I actually bought some more paint, some Citadel paint, not too long ago. It's so fucking expensive. I got
Yeah,
these five little pots of paint. These five little pots cost me $35.
that's
So
not.
much.
Oh yeah. So what is that? $6 each? I think that's
Uh,
quite a bit.
this one was 9, and then the other ones were 5.
Holy shit. That's insane, man. I usually can find them for like $3.99 or so, but Citadel, I guess I don't know. Maybe Citadel is slightly different. I have
I think they're partnered with of Games Workshop or something. Maybe I'm not
yeah.
sure.
I think you find them often at those stores. I know
Yeah,
it's like at the board game store here. That's what they carry.
that's the Prime. What? The one in New West?
Yeah, yeah. They carry that stuff.
Do they? I thought they carry Army Painter.
Hmm.
Because I
Uh,
bought some paint there, and I bought Army Painter there.
no, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Might be
Maybe I
thinking of
got
a different
I got
place.
from Citadel though, from somewhere.
All
Must have
right,
been somewhere
all
else.
right.
But
Uh,
I like to collect. I like to have a lot of different metallic paints. Just like I don't know, I've got at least like 5 or 6 different ones.
why?
Because it's nice to like use one kind of metal, like a dull metal, to fill in your metal pieces, and then use like something like brighter to then like highlight
Mm.
it with
Yeah.
to create sort of like two tones there.
I see what you mean. I see
I'm,
what you
I'm
mean.
liking that quite a bit.
What was I gonna say? Should we give you more homework?
Um, well, I don't know. Do you want me to continue on this map or what?
Oh, most definitely. I really think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know if I'll be able to like figure out all of the dungeons by next week.
Well, not well. How about you start making like some, like I said, some like Lego pieces for yourself,
Mhm.
like so that you can, and they don't have to be painted. They don't have to even be like have like certain tiles on them or certain walls on them. Just make like run of the mill shapes that that it's like, this is this shape, and you can write in the middle of it, this is 5 by 6, 2 doors or something on it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And start making a little libraries of like just a couple little tiles that you can kind of use, you know, periodically, and you can like mix and match and make whatever you want with it, and then have that as like a little bit of a starting point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that yet because like I want to figure out this dungeon first. Because I really want to. I'd rather make a dungeon than make a tile set. Like I
Okay,
want to
so
be a dungeon first that can be a tile set.
so you're
So I
gonna
want
make
to like make sure that I have all the rooms are thought out first. Because I don't want to like put energy into tile sets that I'm not going to.
all right, all right.
All right, so think again. Try again.
Try again.
I mean, you
Give
don't
me
have to
more.
give me homework either.
No. We're getting closer to like actually you like fucking doing something. So I think it's good to give you homework because you always end up like every time I give you homework, you actually have like something to kind of really show that's closer to the bigger picture of like what you want to do. So think it should be a theme here, at least for a little while, to give you some homeworks. I would say,
but like the thing is, dude, like I just still enjoy like skill development as well, and I don't know that I can even focus on the same thing for such a long time, because like this dungeon is honestly even a distraction from my like the first thing I want to finish, which is my map and set piece thing. My location.
okay, well then, just hop in between those two.
Yeah,
Aren't those going to be all connected though?
they are, but
Okay.
it's not going to be all. I can't do. I think because this dungeon represents like one location on that map, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think it's just like if I were to break it into a Kickstarter, one would be the map with all those location pieces. Maybe like a dozen or so locations in a map, and that's the Kickstarter. That's like the whole thing. And then the second one is a dungeon. I think that the amount of content there is just like so time consuming that if I were to try to lump if I made a dungeon for each tile piece or each location piece on that map, I think it would just take too long.
Okay. Here, I have a idea. Instead of focusing on a Kickstarter right now, like you'll do I think, because like I'm kind of doing it ass backwards right now. Like I don't have a following, and I'm trying to do a Kickstarter, which is technically stupid, but I want to do it anyways. But I think what you should maybe try to do is try to establish that you're a tile guy. You know what I mean? Because like right now, like your Instagram is very fractured. There's a lot of like just kind of like just nonsense. No offense, not nonsense, but just like a bunch of stuff that's just kind of all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you start establishing like you're like this tile person, and just like start making a little bit of tiles for people to download or whatever. Or here's a fucking idea. How about?
But I don't want to be the tile person. You know what I mean? Like
No, I know that. I know that.
I'm not doing this
Kickstarter.
because I love making tiles. That's not the thing, man.
Okay, I know that, but like you have to.
I enjoy the character design as well. I enjoy like the puzzle kind of questing stuff. This is just one part of map making. I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not under a crunch right now. You know what I mean? And like I have a friend who's DM, and I really want to make him a map. And I'm going to do that probably either this month or early next month. So my friend Jordan, shout out, not listening, but I'll shout him out anyways.
Here's an idea. If you have this layout map thing, and you have these pieces,
yeah,
that's already going to take up a lot of room on a table. Like, how do you get the dungeon pieces?
Well, once you've entered a dungeon, you don't need to be metagaming over this map, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Because there's sort of like
good point.
You play D&D and you start off in the town, and then you go to the tavern and you get drunk there for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you get your locations by talking to some guy, and then those go onto the map. There's always somebody's drawn a map, and then you're like, okay, we got to go to Rivendell, and then the other.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
And then so that's when you're using the map, and then when you get to your location, you're like, oh, there's a dungeon here. Take the map, throw it away.
Throw it away.
And then you put the dungeon. You start laying the dungeon out.
Yeah. Okay.
And one thing that this PSD, one thing I've done is I was Googling some just common tables, like dinner table sizes. And so I made sure that my in inches, my PSD kind of matched sort of like the resolution of a table or the diameter or the dimensions of a table. So that way I'm not making more dungeon than you could fit on a table.
Yeah.
I kind of want it to be also not too big. I need to restrain it.
Here's some homework that doesn't involve you really making anything. It's more of like kind of problem solving. Try to figure out how you can, like what you showed me, like what you showed me and stuff like that. Like I don't see that in your Instagram, you know what I mean? Or your Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like try to figure out a way to like show that element, what you kind of showed me, to Facebook, or like how you could market yourself in that light. You know what I mean? Because you really enjoy that. And
I think this is too early to show though.
I'm not talking about showing. I'm just talking about like how you can get your voice out and how you can be heard in your own way, like you showed here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like right now, your Instagram is just like some pictures of dragons and a lady with a sword and some 3D models and la da da da, and you know what I mean? Like that shows nothing what you actually showed me here, and what you show me here is 100 times better because it feels more like you and it's something that you really want to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The other stuff just sounds like noise.
How do you like?
I don't know.
I don't know
That's
how
for
you.
you. That's for you to. That's for you to.
Instagram.
That's for you to try to figure it out. It could be posting certain things or sharing certain things. You know what I mean? Like that's what Instagram is. It's like you're sharing certain things. You know what I mean? And you might require you to do some troubleshooting and stuff like that. But yeah, I think you need to try to find your little. You got to try to find your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Your little groove.
Yeah.
Because you have it already there, like what you showed me and the way you described and talked about and stuff. Now it's time to like cut off the fat and like mold it and like put it there and be like, okay, here's the thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm still trying to do that. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I think, yeah, that's you need to do a little bit more of. Be a little bit more. What's the word? Consistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because imagine if the game you're working on, it's already out, so I could say what it is. PVZ. If it just started like, it was like, there's a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this. It's like, well, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what do you?
Well, I'm gonna do that stuff. Like, I am gonna do like little art pieces. I'm gonna continue to like work on my my pipeline for creating characters, like creating miniatures.
Try
to
find.
How do you not share that? Like, you just
try to find the root of it all, and then try to show that root.
Yeah, I just like I'm not ready to be
and you never will be
a production. You know what I mean? I'm not a branded. Like this entity, this like focused kind of like marketing entity yet. I just am. I'm still working on things, and
yeah,
I'm sharing.
Me too, man.
I'm just sharing what I'm working on right now. And I'm not trying to be a specific thing right yet. There's a lot of different areas that I'm building skills in right now that I think I'm going to need to make a project like this, because there's going to be there's going to be character design. There's going to be assets in here. Like I want to have physical assets.
I think you're missing my point. You're missing my point, Alex. Don't think about the Kickstarter right now. Think about how to cultivate a following. You know what I mean?
I think like I'm still not ready to strategize yet, because I'm still I'm just kind of letting the art I'm interested in doing at the moment guide where I'm going. You know what I mean? And sometimes it seems like it's not on this like one cohesive path, but I think I need to kind of do the art as it comes to me to make sure that I'm not going down the an incorrect path.
Alex,
And
you just showed me the path you wanted to go on, and you were really.
I know, but that doesn't mean that that's the only thing I want to do with my time, with my spare time for the next 8 months. And I'm willing to accept, a relaxed delivery schedule on this piece in order to maintain my sanity and focus on alter my focus on different styles of assets as I work, right? Yeah, you sacrifice a little bit of timely delivery of something, I guess, when you start working on ancillary projects like this. But it's I've been working at EA for a long time, and you never have one task at a time. You always have maybe 4 or 5, and I think I still work in that way. And while I'm thinking about this dungeon, I don't have all the answers yet. And sometimes sitting there and focusing on it isn't giving me the answers. And sometimes doing something else while my brain is figuring this out is more productive than sitting there and trying to focus on it. If I'm in a crunch and there's a deadline of some kind and I just need to figure this dungeon out, I'll come up with something. But I just don't have that restraint right now. So.
Sounds like you just said it there. Sounds like you just said that you need to give yourself a deadline. Yeah.
I need to wrap up this podcast because it's 8:08. We've been going for well over an hour.
Just 8 minutes.
Yeah. I do appreciate you trying to play this whole I know you better than you know you kind of shit you do every week.
You know what I'm saying? It says there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, you always say what's on your mind, and you always speak the truth, and that's why.
That's not always true. That's not always true.
Well, I think you say what you believe to be true. You know what I mean? Whether it is true.
I hope so. That's everybody, Alex.
It's not everybody. It's not everybody. Definitely not everybody.
No, everybody doesn't speak.
I think people. Yeah, I think I think people reserve and hold back their thoughts. And all their thoughts, depending on who's listening. Everybody's got a different level of filter on what they say.
What are you trying to say? I have no filter?
Your filter is it's not really a filter.
Well,
there's like a broken, old, torn up kind of bug screen.
Oh my God. No, man, I'm spitting that fire at you because I actually care about you and stuff.
Yeah.
I have no time to be wasting your time.
Yep.
So I just gotta fucking try to tell you how it is and how the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
With you, anyways.
I'll make advancements on this thing, but I am going to drift off course at times. I'm just letting you know that.
Okay, well, if you're gonna drift off course, drift off in the same pool. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you said there's a bunch of different elements to this thing you want to do. There's other things I want to do too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain point where you have to hunker down and continue on the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really think there's more benefits to doing that as well. When you kind of, stay on the bus.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because then you'll get closer to things that you weren't sure about, and then you'll be like, oh, this is what this is. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of like, okay, you get a better idea with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So no homework for me tomorrow, next week.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know if we need to do homework every single week, but it is cool to show stuff. It is cool to show stuff.
Exactly. Week. Well, fuck, I should have homework then. Okay, quickly, hurry up.
You should show some of your, you were already showing me some of your Kickstarter stuff. Why don't we, next week, when we reconvene here, we'll screen share on your screen.
Yeah, my screen.
And
I'll
you'll
show all my
update us
theming of my
on-
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
We'll
sounds good.
see if it communicates what you're trying to communicate, and if not, maybe
Yeah.
we can suggest some other things, or we can just say, okay, let's do it.
All right.
I think
sounds
that'd be
great.
fun. And also, it's time to start getting the word out. I think that you've got this thing coming.
Well, that's true. I haven't really said on my Instagram that I'm doing a Kickstarter. So, but the thing is, like, I have to get my Kickstarter approved, right? So that's why I need to make all this stuff for the Kickstarter, and then I got to submit it, and then it has to get approved. And then once I know it could get approved, and I could put a date, then I could start putting a little bit of, little pieces of candy out there for people.
Yeah.
So yarp or yarp.
It's going to get approved. It'll get approved. Man.
Yeah, it'll get approved. I know it will. But I have to make sure I have everything and everything's right. Anyways, I think that's it. So thanks for joining us. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Press the little bell. You'll get a little mention about when we're going live or when.
Oh man, I hate those bells. I hate it so much.
What,
like when I subscribe to somebody and I hit the bell icon, that means when I load up Chrome, the little thing is going to pop up in the corner, that little rectangle, and they're so annoying.
All right, you know what? If the bell bothers you, whoever's listening to this, if the bell bothers you, you have to press the bell.
Click the bell. But I mean, I would recommend going into the YouTube settings and turning those off.
Oh my God, why is this taking for so long? Anyways, we go live every Tuesday at 7. I'm sure that'll change someday. Someday, Alec.
Oh boy, I hope so.
Pacific time, 7 o'clock Pacific time, every Tuesday, and we just talk about art and junk and all that jazz, all that smooth jazz. And
where can we find you, Antoine?
Where can you find me? You can find me on the grams. That's Forbidden Prints. It's Forbidden_Prints. And if you want to maybe print something on your personal printer, you got to go to Thingiverse and you can type in one word, Forbidden Prints. And you can find me. I got a couple of prints there. And you go a little print and for your tabletop game. And I also have an art station if you want to see some of my older artwork or professional work working in the industry. You could see it there. I'm also trying to be more active on the tweets, so that's a thing. Alex.
What's your Twitter then?
I can't even fucking remember. I have
send me a link to your Twitter so I can add it to the show notes. You don't have to do that right now. You can do that later.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Just email me.
Email it to me. All right. It's just Forbidden Prints at Forbidden Prints, one word. Anyways, Alex, yourself, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find my fragmented, disjointed, random assortment of updates that have no focus on Facebook and Instagram at Tiger Skull RPG.
You're only saying that because you know it's true.
I'm saying it because it's gonna make you put a smile on your face. It's all RPG stuff. It's all tabletop stuff. It's pretty much all D&D stuff.
Yeah,
like Antoine's more of the word gamer guy. I'm more of the D&D guy.
That's gonna change. I'm gonna be doing in the future here. I'm gonna be doing more D&D stuff. So.
All right. Well, you do that.
Can't stop me.
No, I'm not going to.
I'm not going to. Anyways, what's that?
I'm going to encourage you, in fact, because D&D is pretty dope.
It is. So. Anyways, that's about it.
Okay. All right.
Close this shit down, and we'll see you next week. Big kiss.
Yes. Ciao.